Some secrets never fade, some kisses never leave your skin, and some stories, they're too real to regret. Would you have done the same? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if this story hit you hard, like, share, and follow for more confessions that cross every line. Months passed, life moved on, or pretended to. I returned to my routine: work, gym, drinks with friends who never knew I had changed in a way they couldn't see. They asked about the weekend at Noah's. I laughed, dodged the questions, but I thought about her every night. Vivian wasn't just a woman I kissed in secret. She was the reason every touch since felt dull. Every date, every kiss with someone else, it all felt like imitation. Like a song without sound. I never told Noah. What could I say? Hey, your stepmother kissed me first, and I didn't stop her. Actually, I invited it. It would have destroyed him, destroyed us. So I did the one thing I could. I buried it. Until one evening, I walked into a bookstore downtown, looking for nothing, and saw her, Vivian. She stood in the corner, alone, flipping through a novel. Her hair was shorter now. She wore glasses. But I knew. God, I knew. She looked up, froze, then smiled. It wasn't seductive. Not this time. It was knowing. I walked over slowly, my heart ready to burst. Vivian, Alex. Her voice was steady, almost too calm. You look well, I said. You too. And just like that, we were two strangers who shared something no one else in that building would ever understand. There was a silence, not heavy, but meaningful. Finally, she spoke. I've thought about you. I've never stopped, I admitted. Her eyes softened. She reached out and placed her hand on mine. Briefly. A flicker. Nothing more. I don't regret it, she said. Neither do I. And then, without warning, she leaned in and kissed me. Not like before, not rushed or wild, but slow, deep, final. When she pulled back, she whispered, I took something that wasn't mine, but it should have been. Then she walked out of the store, heels echoing on the wooden floor, leaving me there with a pounding heart and one undeniable truth. If she ever came back, I'd say yes again. No hesitation, no apology. Because some mistakes, they don't break you, they make you. I tried to stay away. I told myself that after the garden, it had to end. That what happened beneath those trees, those kisses in the dark, would be the last time. But I lied to myself, the same way I lied to Noah's face every morning. The next 2 days blurred together. I kept avoiding her gaze. She kept watching me anyway, from the stairs, across the dinner table, in the hallway mirror. It was never over. Not really. The last night of the visit, Noah threw a little goodbye barbecue. Friends, music, drinks. Vivienne didn't say much, but she didn't need to. She wore a low-cut black dress that clung to her body like ink on paper. Every move, every glance she gave me was a silent dare, and I was already drowning. When the guests left, I stayed to help clean. Noah disappeared to take a call. Vivian and I ended up alone again, side by side at the sink. She handed me a wet plate, and her fingers lingered too long on mine. Follow me, she whispered, not even looking up. I hesitated, then obeyed. She led me upstairs, not to her room, to the guest room, my room. The door clicked shut behind us. This is the last time, she said quietly. I nodded. I know. We didn't talk after that. We just fell. Into each other, into silence, into something far past logic or caution or guilt. She kissed me like she owned me, like she had carved her name somewhere deep in my bones and now came to claim it. When it was over, she lay beside me, her fingers tracing the edge of my jaw. "What happens now?" I asked. She closed her eyes. "You leave, and we never speak of this again." "You mean pretend it didn't happen?" She looked at me finally, dead serious. "No, Alex. We remember it for the rest of our lives, quietly." I wanted to fight it, to tell her she was wrong, that maybe, just maybe, there was more to this than stolen touches and whispered sins. But I didn't, because I knew it was over. Later that night, I sat on the porch, bag packed, car keys in my hand. Noah came out, sleepy-eyed and barefoot. "You heading out already?" he asked. "Yeah," I said, trying to sound normal. "Long drive tomorrow. Wanted to get a head start." He gave me a tired hug. "Glad you came, man. Like old times." I nodded, but they weren't like old times, and they never would be again. As I pulled out of the driveway, I saw her silhouette in the upstairs window, watching. She didn't wave, she didn't smile, but she didn't look away either. And in that look, I knew everything we had wasn't just physical. It was permanent. It would live in both of us, quiet, unspoken, buried deep, but never forgotten. I didn't sleep that night. I lay on the guest bed, staring at the ceiling, every blink a replay of that kiss. Her breath on my lips, the weight of what we'd done, and the insane urge to feel it again. By morning, I looked like hell. Dark circles, unshaven, lost. Vivienne, on the other hand, looked flawless. She floated through the kitchen in a soft green sweater and jeans, her hair tucked behind one ear like she was starring in a commercial for elegance. She didn't say a word when I walked in. She didn't need to. The air between us said everything. Noah was planning a beach run for the afternoon. Invited me. Insisted, actually. "You've barely moved all day, man. Come on. It'll be good for you." I said yes, just to avoid suspicion. Vivienne didn't react. But when I passed her to get a towel from the hallway closet, her voice stopped me cold. "Alex?" I turned. "Yeah?" Her eyes held me in place. "Tonight, after dinner, meet me in the garden. Don't be late." Then she walked away, humming again. At the beach, I couldn't concentrate. The sun was hot, the water cold, the laughter around me loud. But I was in another world, a countdown clock ticking inside my skull. That evening, dinner was tense. Noah, oblivious, talked nonstop. Vivienne barely ate. I pretended to be normal, but every forkful felt like waiting for a gun to go off. At 10:02 p.m., I stepped into the garden. She was already there, barefoot in the grass, wrapped in a long dark robe, holding a glass of wine. A soft glow from the garden lights lit her like something sacred and sinful all at once. "You came," she said. "I didn't have a choice." "Of course you did," she replied, taking a sip. "But you made the right one." She set the glass down, walked up to me slowly, like the ground itself belonged to her. And then, no hesitation, she reached for my collar and pulled me into another kiss. Deeper this time, wilder, like she had waited years, not hours. When we finally broke apart, both of us breathless, I said the one thing I shouldn't have. "Why me?" She stared at me, her fingers still resting on my chest. "Because you look at me like you see me, not like I'm someone's wife, or someone's mother, or a trophy. You look like you'd burn everything down just to touch me again." She was right. I would. We didn't speak after that. Just silence, just skin, just motion in the shadows of the garden where no one could see. When I finally slipped back into the house, Noah was asleep. I stood in the hallway, staring at the closed door of his room. My heart was a war drum, because the truth was settling in like fog. This wasn't a mistake. It was a pattern, and I didn't want to stop. The next morning, the house felt different, quieter, tighter, like every wall had started listening. Noah was outside messing with the grill. I could hear him cursing at the propane tank through the window. Inside, I was alone until she walked in again. Vivian, same effortless elegance. This time, in a loose cream blouse and black slacks. Nothing revealing, nothing screaming for attention, but still, she was magnetic. She walked into the kitchen like it was a runway. "Morning," she said, without a trace of hesitation. "Morning," I replied, keeping my eyes on a coffee mug in my hand, like it held the secret to self-control. She leaned against the counter. "Did you sleep well?" "Eventually." She murmured. "I didn't." I looked up. Big mistake. Her eyes met mine, and in them was something deliberate, something wicked. Her lips curled, not quite a smile, a message. She was toying with me. "I suppose you were thinking," I asked, trying to match her tone. She sipped her tea. "I was remembering." "Remembering what?" She placed her cup down slowly. "That tension in the kitchen last night. You felt it, didn't you?" I stared at her, stunned that she said it out loud. The unspoken just became spoken. "What are you doing?" I asked, quietly. Her response was lightning. "What you wanted me to." Before I could say anything else, Noah burst through the door, holding a spatula like a sword. "We have fire. Burgers incoming." Vivian didn't flinch, didn't move. She turned and said, "Wonderful, darling," with the grace of a queen, then walked right past me. As she passed, her fingers brushed mine. Not an accident. After lunch, Noah left to pick up drinks from the store. Vivian and I were alone again, standing by the back patio. The silence between us was no longer uncomfortable. It was alive. I took a step toward her. "Tell me why you're doing this." She tilted her head, amused. "You really don't know? I want to hear you say it." She moved in, inches between us. Her voice dropped. "Because your best friend's mother never looked at you like this." And then she kissed me. It wasn't rushed. It wasn't stolen. It was offered. Gifted. Like she'd been waiting for me to just say yes. I didn't stop her. I didn't pull away. Because deep down, I didn't want to. She was right. My past had been filled with girls who liked boys their age, who didn't look past the surface, who didn't see me. Vivian did. Her kiss was slower, older, commanding. She kissed like she had nothing to prove, just something to take. We heard the car door slam out front. She broke the kiss instantly, straightened her hair, walked away without looking back. When Noah walked in, she was back at the stove, humming, calm. I stood there, lips tingling, hands shaking. This wasn't just a game. This was war. And I had already lost the first round. It started with a glance. Not a smile, not a touch, just a glance. But it lasted too long to be innocent. We were at his place, one of those weekend gatherings where everyone drinks too much and forgets the world exists outside. My best friend, Noah, had just come back from a trip abroad, and I hadn't seen him in months. He looked good. Same easy grin, same loud laugh, but I barely noticed him that night. Because of her. Vivian, Noah's stepmother. I had seen pictures before, heard the occasional complaint from him. She's uptight, dad's obsessed with her, total ice queen. But none of it prepared me for what she looked like in person. She walked into the kitchen around 8:30, barefoot, hair tied up messily like she hadn't even tried. And somehow, she still looked better than anyone else in the house. Her dress clung in just the right places, revealing nothing but suggesting everything. She was mid-40s, maybe early 50s, but with a posture that told you she knew exactly how much power she carried. And then her eyes found mine. It wasn't just that she looked at me, it was how she held the look. Like she was reading me, stripping me, silently daring me to blink. I didn't. She walked over to pour herself a drink. I moved aside, trying not to seem rattled. "Thanks," she said softly, not looking at me. "No problem," I mumbled, like a nervous kid. Then, still without facing me, she added, "You're Alex, right?" "Yeah. How'd you—" "Noah talks about you," she said, sipping her wine. "A lot." I felt something shift in the air, a quiet tension. Not awkward, not exactly, just loaded. That was the moment I should have walked away, shut it down, said something casual and left the room. But I didn't. Because something in her tone told me she knew the effect she had on people. On me. Noah burst in 2 seconds later, beer in hand. "There you are," he grinned at me. "Viv, this is Alex, the idiot I told you about." She smiled, finally turning to face me. "Oh, I know. He doesn't seem like an idiot." The way she said it, sweet on the surface, dripping underneath, made my chest tighten. Noah laughed, unaware. We spent the rest of the evening pretending there was nothing between us. But every time I looked at her, she was already watching. Every time I turned, she was already walking past. Too close, too warm. When I finally went to bed in the guest room that night, I couldn't sleep. Not because of guilt, but because her perfume still lingered in the hallway and in my head. This wasn't just attraction. This was a line, clear, bright, and very, very wrong. But when a woman like her crosses it first, what kind of man are you supposed to be? The kind who steps back, or the kind who steps in? I didn't know yet, but I knew this. She wanted me, and that changed everything. Some temptations don't whisper. They stare you down and dare you to act. I was loyal. I was careful. But the moment her eyes met mine, everything shifted. She was older, elegant, off limits, and she was the one who started it. A brush of her hand, a glance that lingered too long. She didn't say it out loud, but I knew. She wanted me first. I tried to resist. I really did. But what do you do when the one person you should never touch is the one who already chose you?